Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt and today I am on my own. It is Sunday the 27th of April. It's a big day because today is London Marathon, Manchester Marathon. I'm not running a marathon but it is bright and early. It's 5 to 9 in the morning and I am out ready to do my Sunday run. This week has been a pretty good week for me. I think my mileage this week is the best mileage I've been able to run for, I think about 3 months. It's been a varied balance of running between easy running and sessions. I'm about to do what is actually my third session this week, and I'll go into in this video exactly how that week's been broken down and structured. So there was no park run for me this week. I had some family responsibilities to deal with, so we haven't got a park run point of view this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you along on this little session. It's a little hill sprint session. I'm going to talk you through how this week has gone, how it's been structured, and how I'm feeling in what is currently my biggest week in 3 months, with what I think one of the best balances of structure and varied intensity that I've run for quite a long while. So I'm about to go out for the warm-up. I'm going to take the Go 3S on the camera, on the hat. Hopefully I can get the settings right this time because I do keep getting it wrong. These cameras are so easy to mess up the settings and accidentally record the wrong thing, which I did on the Scotland Trail 15k race recce the other week. So I'm going to take you down while I do the warm-up. We'll do a little bit of a montage of that, and then we'll get up to the hill where I'm going to run the session, and then we'll talk you through the session and then come back and do a bit of a cool down. Right, so I've done a 10-minute warm-up. It was quite brisk. I did my usual, starting quite conservative, around 6 minutes a kilometre, and just gradually squeezing it up. Ended up around, well, it said 5:09 by the end, which is pretty quick, but it's a proper warm-up. I've got a bit of a walk to get back. I head back to the car, reset the camera, and then we'll walk over to the hill where I'm going to do the hill sprints. So this week, as I said, has been a pretty consistent week and I've had a couple of good sessions. So let's give you a quick rundown. Monday night I did 4 miles on Monday along the canal. Tuesday, the plan said track, but I'd had a bit of a long day, to be honest. So mentally I didn't quite feel all there, and like I was really ready for trying to pace myself around the track session, which was 3 times 1200 plus 300. So I went down to the gym, jumped on a treadmill, and I did the session on the treadmill, where essentially the treadmill was doing the pacing work for me, and I didn't have to think too hard about that, because the problem was mentally I was quite exhausted on Tuesday. I felt physically quite good, so I still did the session, but just on a treadmill. So the session, as I said, was 1200s plus 300s times 3, so that's 1200 meters at faster than 5k pace, 9 seconds rest, 300 meters faster than that, 2 minutes rest. Repeat that 3 times with a warm up and cool down. I'll put my splits up here. I aimed to start the first 1200 at 450 and then take 5 seconds off each set, and with the 300s I think I started at 420 and took 5 seconds off per set as well, so each set was progressively slightly quicker. And then on the very last 300 I still felt pretty good, so as I set it off at the pace that I'd sort of mentally targeted, I did push the treadmill up to a slightly faster pace. The paces that I ran are accurate to stride. My stride is calibrated to the Berry track, so I find it's a bit more consistent and accurate than relying on the treadmill calibration, which when you go to a gym, you could have 3 treadmills next to each other and all 3 of them be slightly different paces. So that's Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday was gym S&C, and I suffered really badly with DOMs after that one. Did weighted back squats for the first time in a long time, and I was a little bit ambitious with the weight, especially with the sets and reps I was doing. So yeah, I had pretty bad DOMs after that gym session, particularly my quads. They were screaming at me afterwards on Thursday. So I did some yoga, got my Bob and Brad D6 massage gun out, all up and down my quads. And then Thursday's session was a sprint session. So I did 5k warm up, and then it was 10 times 10 second sprints. So I went down to the loops where I've just been for this warm up, and for the 5k, because I had the DOMs, I wanted to start off very, very conservative. So I think I started off at 7:30 pace. By the end of it, I was doing 6:15-ish pace. I could still feel the DOMs a little bit, but it was improving. And then when I got onto the sprints, I think I was getting around about 3 minutes per kilometre on the sprints for 10 seconds each. The graph was ever so slightly going upwards, so I was getting a little bit faster on each go, at least my peak pace. So that's 100 seconds at my sprint pace, which should be pretty good neurologically for getting those faster paces and trying to unlock some new speeds. Friday, so yes, 2 days ago, was a day of complete rest. So again, as I have been doing on my rest days, just yoga and getting my massage gun out, just trying to iron out the last of those DOMs. And then yesterday, as I indicated at the beginning of the video, I didn't have a park run. And I was originally going to do, the Conquer the Wild with the Sunnywood project. Unfortunately, some things came up with family and they take priority, so I messaged his coach, let him know that I wasn't going to be able to do that one, and if he wanted to swap this weekend around, then he could do as he saw fit. So yesterday he set 1 hour easy on the trails, and the message was, if I feel good enough, throw in a couple of hills. So my goal on that run was to keep my heart rate low, which is easier said than done sometimes when I'm running with Becky, because she always wants to speed up. But we kept it down. There was a couple of spikes in my heart rate up to around sort of 165, but for the most part I managed to keep it in zone 2. And that then brings us on to today's session, which is another sprint interval session. Let's put you on that way so you've not got the sun in the face. So today's session is 10-minute warm-up, which I've just done with a walk back to the car. That's an extra thing. And then I've got 10-15 second hill efforts. So I'm going to go up this road just up here. There is a hill there. It's about 200 meters long, and I think it's about 6 or 7% incline. So that should be plenty long enough for some 15-second hill efforts. And it's run up as hard as I can, turn around, walk that down, do that 10 times, and then we'll do a cool down. Okay, so here's the hill. I just give those people a chance to get far enough up the hill, and then we'll start with rep 1. So it's a pretty good hill this, because it's pedestrianised. It's a nice consistent hill, nice consistent gradient up to the top there, so I should be able to do some nice solid 10-second intervals. Right, let's go for interval 1. 3, 2, 1, go. That's number 1 done. And it's just getting back down to the bottom of the hill from the first effort. So each time I'm going to come down and touch this bollard. 3, 2, 1, go. That's number 2. Today's more about form. So driving those arms, picking those knees up is something that hills force you to do. Hopefully that'll make me more efficient when you get on the flats. That's 4. That's 5. Seven down. 3 to go. Okay, I'm getting tired. My pace is starting to drop just a bit. Not getting quite as far on each rep. 2 more to go though. Come on. Alright, rep number 9. That's better. I took a slightly longer break just to let a guy and his dog past. It definitely helped. Alright, 1 more to go. Note to self, don't stand on the camera. Okay, it's 10 reps done. I did start to tail off around the 8th rep. Took a slightly longer rest. Got distance in on the 9th, and then on the 10th I had a shorter rest because there was a guy with his dog and I didn't want to freak the dog out. So, job done. So, good session banked. So 10 times 15 seconds hill sprints, offered for most of them about 60 seconds rest. which is slightly different to Thursday night, which was 10 by 10 seconds on the flat with 30 seconds rest in between. So that was a little more intense than today, but also a little less volume, so I suppose it balances out. So I'm now going to go do a cool down. I think I probably won't take the camera for that. And just want to say things are, for me at least, are going pretty good at the moment. Becky's still finding her feet with the CFS. She did do the hour easy run with me yesterday. She was going to come out today, but unfortunately she's not got the energy for it. So it's still a learning curve. We're getting there. Next weekend I think we're going to be going to Heaton Park Run. There's a bit of a celebration there for VE Day, which is Victory in Europe Day. Heaton Park was used during World War II as a training base for the Royal Air Force, so they're going to do a little bit of a celebration of that. And yeah, good luck to everyone who's running in the marathons today. I know a few people who are running London and quite a lot of people that are running in Manchester. Some of those will be setting off very soon. I suppose by the time you see this, it'll have already finished. I hope you got the results you wanted. Hope that nobody suffered any injuries. And if you didn't get the times you want, hopefully you still had a good day. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Thanks for all the support. And we'll see you next time. Bye.